Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Comet Vision. My name is Caleb Wood. I am your color commentator for today. Sorry, your play-by-play commentator for today. And we are bringing to you the Chanute Blue Comets versus the Pittsburg Purple Dragons right here in Chanute, Kansas at the Chanute High School Gymnasium. Tipping off for the Blue Comets, senior Avery Hicks. And for Pittsburgh, Odessa Reed, also a senior. Blue Comets with the tip-off win. Sarah Unier drives in the paint, looking outside for her sister, Kate. Kate dribbles around, hands it off to Lubring. Lubring back to Unier for a corner three off the front of the iron, going to be out of bounds. Purple Dragon ball. Hertrich throwing it in for the Purple Dragons, gets it back after the inbounds. Now to Angie Miller, bringing it up court, right at the top of the key. Looking to set something up, dribbling around to Hertrich. Kicks it over to Ana Jorge, back to Hertrich. Up top to English. Jorge now driving baseline. No good. Fighting for the rebound. Blue Comets come up with the ball. Sarah Unier. Steal. Jorge with the steal. Nobody in her way, and that's going to be her first points of the game. Blue Comets looking to break the full court press. Purple Dragons. Looks like it's going to be a backcourt violation call. Didn't quite see it there. That's all right. Still very early on in the game. It's going to be Purple Dragon basketball. Hertrich to throw it in on the far sideline. Looking for Miller. Easy inbounds play for her. Jorge now on the near side three. Short corner. Going up. No, not today. Reed kicks it up to the top of the key to Hertrich. That's not going to go. Looks like Blue Comet head coach Dustin Fox is looking for an over-the-back call on Odessa Reed, but no whistle tonight. Blue Comets throwing the ball, skipping it around once again, breaking the full court press. Brenna Peter gets it back to Kate Unier, looking across the lane to Avery Hicks. And Avery fighting with Mackenzie English. Going to be Blue Comet basketball on the baseline, though. Lubring to throw the ball in. Holding it a little long. Tipped out of bounds by Hertrich. Stays here for Chanute. Lubring throwing it again. Looks like there was an offensive foul somewhere in the paint. Not really sure where that was, but that's all right. Purple Dragons throwing in the ball in on the baseline. Miller gets it to Hertrich. Blue Comets in their own full court press. English now with the ball, driving baseline, spinning back to the middle, tries to kick it across the lane. Stripped up anyways and going to be good for the Purple Dragons. Mackenzie English, first two there. Brenna Peter gets it up to Unier, driving middle, kicks it back out to Peter from the elbow. Bank shot's no good. English with the rebound. Cross court to Angie Miller for two. And that's easy points for the Purple Dragons. Head coach Dustin Fox calling a timeout for the Blue Comets. Trying to do some serious talking. Early on, 6-0 deficit against the Purple Dragons. Coach Fox, we talked to earlier today, doesn't have much of a voice, coming off of a little bit of sickness and also a very wild game against Labette County on Tuesday night. So he has little to no voice. We've all been there. Blue Comets looking to come out of the timeout with a little momentum here. Lubring to throw it in for Chanute. Lubring gets the ball back, driving down middle, Pittsburg relaxing a little bit on defense, allowing Chanute to break the press. No big deal. Unir, short jump shot, gets her own rebound. It's going to be a foul on Sophia Herdrich. It's her first. Going to be on the baseline now. One foul for each team. Three-pointer by Sarah Unir is no good. Going to be short off the front of the rim. Miller with the ball for the Blue Comets, or for Purple Dragons, rather. Odessa Reed had that rebound. English now gets hung up a little bit by Chanute. Avery Hicks in there to prevent Odessa Reed from getting that rebound. She's already got 2 rebounds herself. A few subs coming in off the bench for the Blue Comets. We got Lainey Holtzman. Looks like we also have Jenica Ruark and Addison Kett. 3-point attempt by Hurtrich. A little short there. Kett with the rebound. Now Holtzman controlling the ball for the Blue Comets. Kate over to Lubring. Lubring drives back towards the top of the key. Purple Dragons in a 1-2-2 zone defense. Back to Lubring. Lubring drives middle. Dribbles it off of English's leg, it looked like. So it's going to stay Blue Comet basketball right here. Blue Comet's never really set for the inbounds play. Gets it right in the middle for Unir. Now Lubring, corner 3. Little bit wide right. English with the rebound. Shifts it up court. Back to English. Tries to hand it off. No good. Miller now with the ball. Over to Hurtrich. Gets it down to Reed. Reed gets fouled going up. And she'll go to the line for 2. Kate Unir with her first foul. Second team foul of the night. Miller. First shots off the back of the iron. Sorry, Reed rather, not Miller. Odessa Reed, the senior, for her second shot. Rattles in, and that's good for her first points of the game. Lubring getting it to Unir on the near side sideline. Guarded tight by Jorge. Baseline drive. Jenica Ruark. Looks like she got it stripped a little bit. English tried to throw it back in. Was already out of bounds. Lubring now to throw it in for the Blue Comets. Curling around, Lubring gets called for the travel, and that's going to be turnover for the Blue Comets. Miller tosses it up to Jorge. Jorge gets fouled by Kate Unir. That's her second foul just of this quarter. Sarah, her older sister's coming in for her. Kate didn't really like that call. She thought it was all clean, but she's going to take a little bit of seat. Miller now with the ball. Gets it to English, kicks it out to Jorge. Jorge drives middle. Right-handed floater off the backboard's no good. Rebound by Lubring. Holtzman now with the ball, bringing it back towards the top. Now Sarah Unir, rather, setting stuff up. Fox calls another timeout for the Blue Comets. This time it's a 60-second timeout. I'm going to go ahead and leave you with some crowd noise during this time as I take a drink. Still 7-0 here. Blue Comets versus the Purple Dragons. Coach Fox a little frustrated. Blue Comets not playing like they normally have, especially compared to their record for the year. Blue Comets are sitting right now at 5-2 with Pittsburg sitting at 4-5. Granted, Pittsburg and Chanute have played completely different teams so far this year. In fact, neither team has played the same team that the other has played yet this season. So Pittsburgh, being a 5A school, clearly has a slightly tougher schedule, but tonight Chanute is coming out trying to show them what 4A is all about. Holtzman to throw on the ball. Now Unier setting something up. Swinging it around. Blue Comets having a tough time against this 1-2-2 defense. Lubering right in the middle, gets blocked. Fox calling for a foul, but not going to happen today. Miller swinging around to Jorge. Jorge just holding it. Trying to lob it over top to Reed, and Addison Kett is going to deflect that. Holtzman now looking middle, kicks it out. Swinging around, Kett, far corner three. Gives it to Lubering. Lubering drives in and out, no good. Rebound by Odessa Reed. That's her third rebound of the game so far. Miller hands it off to English. English drives middle. A little weaving in and out for the Purple Dragons. Now Jorge goes up. Bank shot is good for Ana Jorge. Four points for her tonight. Lubering in the middle, finally gets a foul call. That also is going to be on Ana. A couple subs come in for Pittsburgh and Chanute. We got Adley Gober on the court for the Purple Dragons. Avery Hicks coming in for Chanute. Lily Fisher as well, and Brenna Peter. Holtzman, one open, driving middle, kicks it out to Brenna, corner three, pump fakes, drive baseline, tries to get it to Hicks, but Hicks is sliding across the lane, trying to make room for Brenna. Miller now with the ball, gets it over to Jorge. Swinging it across to Hertrich. Back to Miller. Gober for long three, and that's going to be good. Adley Gober, 3 points for the Purple Dragons. Blue Comets still struggling here in the first quarter to score. Miller gets away with a little bump right there. Trying to get in the middle. Hicks just throwing it into hands. Running back on defense. I think Pittsburgh's had more steals than they've had rebounds tonight so far here in the first quarter. Swinging around, Purple Dragons. Hertrich looking down low to English. English driving baseline. Trying not to pick up the foul is Peter. Gober, another three. That's off the iron, a little right of the rim. English trying to get the ball again. But now Avery Hicks gets the ball after Brenna Peter pokes it away. Blue Comets driving forward. Trying to slow things down a little bit, set something up. A little motion action here. Brenna kicks it out to Sarah. Three's off the mark. English with the rebound. Up to Hertrich. And she's going to get an easy 2 points there. Sophia Hertrich, her first 2 points of the game. English also's got 3 rebounds herself. Brenna Peter forcing the foul on Hertrich. That's Hertrich's second foul of the game. Blue Blue Comets to throw the ball in on the baseline. Sarah, quick three. Again, a little short. Trying to beat the buzzer. Blue Comets still scoreless in the first quarter. We'll be right back here in just a little bit. Once again, Blue Comets scoreless after the first quarter. But head coach Tristan Gregg and her Purple Dragons here coming in hot and playing real hot tonight. So far, 14-0. Purple Dragons have the lead after the first 8 minutes of the game. And they're going to come out, see if they can continue that lead. They're going to start with the ball on the far sideline here. They started the game out in a full court press. Backed off a little bit after the first 2 or 3 minutes. We'll see how they play defense now with a 14-point lead. Gober over to Reed. Reed trying to toss it down low. Reed doesn't dribble before shifting her feet, so she's going to get called for the travel, and that's going to be Blue Comet basketball. In for the Blue Comets, we have Grace Lubring, Sarah and Kate Unier, Brenda Peter, and Avery Hicks, your first original starting five. Kate, great ball handler, has really quick hands as well, swinging it around, back to herself. Grace now right in the middle, looking high-low, kicks it across to Sarah. Sarah drives baseline, left-handed up. She's going to get you fouled going up. And that's going to be a foul on Adley Gober. That's her first personal foul. First team foul of the second quarter. Sarah, first points for the Blue Comets. Second. Now that we've broken the ice, let's see if the Blue Comets can make some treadway here. Kicking it up court, trying to get it to Odessa Reed, and that's going to go out of bounds. Blue Comet basketball. Looks like Pittsburgh still in there, full court press. Gober on Lubring. Lubring crosses half court, waiting for Sarah to get past. Already had one backcourt violation call so far tonight. Swinging it all the way across, Unier to Unier. Lubring in the middle. She's trying to get past all the hands. Pittsburgh playing very aggressive, and looks like Avery Hicks is going to get called for the double dribble. That's going to be Purple Dragon ball. Blue Comets also in a full court press. Backing off a little bit, saving their energy. Miller taking it up top. Gets it over to Jorge. Jorge now to Reed. Reed almost loses it. Drives middle like nobody's there. Gets it to Miller. And Miller now with 4. Kate driving left. Finds a little opening, pulls it back. Lubring goes middle. Trying to get our attention with some flails here. Kate now back to Grace for a little jumper, and that's going to be good. Grace Lubring now has 2. Dover up top, looking down low. Purple Dragons shifting out. English from the top of the key. The hand in her face, drains it with a beautiful high arcing shot. Mackenzie English coming from some siblings that are very well known in the basketball world, especially in Southeast Kansas. Lubring another 2 for her. As I was saying, her brother Mason playing for the Pittsburg State Gorillas and having a heck of a season there too. Kate, comments? We have number 15, Claire Jones, and number 10, Lainey Holtzman, giving some of these girls a good breather, much needed one at that. Blue Comets bringing it back up. Lubring now bringing the ball up rather than staying in the middle. Laney tries to get it over to Sarah. Gets poked out by Jorge. Jorge now with a right-handed layup. Wide open. And she's got 6. Dustin Fox calls a timeout. We're going to go ahead and take a quick break here. Give me a little bit of a breather as well. Chanute Blue Comets coming out onto the court. Pittsburg taking their sweet time. They have all the time in the world to use. Still coming out in a full court press though. Holtzman over to Unier. Trying to get it to the corner. Grace now back to Sarah. Claire Jones in for the Blue Comets. Jones now with the ball in the short corner. That's going to be tipped off of Pittsburgh. Going to stay here with the Blue Comets. A little discussion here with the officials. Not a big deal. Blue Comets are throwing the ball. Lubring looking for someone. Gets it up to Holtzman. Holtzman almost loses it. Now to Unier. Unier back to Holtzman. Tries to throw it up. 1 second left on the shot clock. And English gets a rebound up to Hertrich, and she misses. Tries to create some contact. English now for a long 3, and that's another 3 points for English. She's got 8. 8 points, 4 rebounds for Mackenzie English. No fouls so far for her. Blue Comets trying to create something out of nothing. And Lainey Holtzman finds that space, can't finish though. And English gets another rebound. Kind of hard to see what happened there. Not really sure. That's all right, though. Lubring now with the ball for the Blue Comets. Oh, and a steal by Miller, but Lubring steals it right back. Holtzman trying to make some room to get the ball, but Unier now gets it, brings it up court, using as much time as she's given to get it past the half-court mark. Lubring turns middle, met by a bunch of Purple Dragons. Unier, long three, nothing happens there. Lubring now with another 2 points. She's got 6 so far tonight. Pittsburg swinging it up court, gets it to Jorge, but she loses it out of bounds, and they're going to give it back to Pittsburg. Blue Comets did not touch that, but it's a tough angle, I will say. Lead official here coming to discuss with some of the other officials, baseline official, and it looks like the call may stand. And no, they're going to give it to Chanute. Blue Comets still trying to deal with that full court press. Not really having a hard time with it too much. Jenica Ruark short. 2 points for her. That's good for Chanute. 24-10. Hertrich dribbling down court, being met by 2 Blue Comets. Kate Unier scrambles across court to Miller. Now back to Hertrich. English at the elbow. Turning, spinning, middle. Going up, nobody there. Puts it back, gets her own rebound and some points. 6 rebounds, 10 points for Mackenzie English here in the first half. Jones back up to Kate. Kate driving baseline, trying to do something, trying to kick it around. Blocking foul on English. That's her first foul of the night, I believe. That's going to be on the floor, and it's going to be throwing it in from the baseline. Laney just a bit right, or sorry, just a bit left. And Sarah trying to get the strip. Jorge now up, no good. Rebound by Sarah, or Kate Unier. They all look the same on this screen. Kate trying to create some space, gets it to Jones. Jones dribbles, throws it right into Jorge's hand, and that's not going to be any good. Sarah gets the ball back for the Blue Comets. Back over to Kate. Claire Jones now back to Kate. Kate for her first three-point attempt, just a little short. Holtzman tries to get the rebound, but Unier comes up with it. Holtzman, three-point attempts, no good. English, another rebound for her. That's 7 rebounds for English. Time ticking down, last 5 seconds. Chanute's got to get it off quickly. 1 second, not enough time. And that's going to be the end of the first half here for the Chanute Blue Comets and the Pittsburg Purple Dragons. We'll be back here in just a little bit. Back at it here at Chanute High School. 28-10. Purple Dragons are in the lead. Pretty demanding lead right now against the Chanute Blue Comets. Purple Dragons came out hot, crashing the boards, making shots, all kinds of things. And unfortunately for the Blue Comets, the Purple Dragons have also been doing really well on defense in terms of crash in the middle, especially when Grace Lubring catches the ball at the corner, or at the elbow rather. Really any Blue Comet that catches it inside is being bombarded by Purple Dragon jerseys. So we'll see what Coach Fox has drawn up for the second half here. Girls coming out in high hopes. It looks like they're joking, smiling, and laughing with one another. So maybe they know something we don't. 16 minutes left in this half. Of course, we haven't started yet, but Blue Comets to throw in the ball on the far side. Kate with the ball. Gets it over to Sarah, now to Brenna. Down to Grace. Now Avery should have gone up with it, but looks like she's going to get a foul on the floor. And that's going to be on Hurtrich. And that is her third foul of the night. Hurtrich struggling right now with fouls. No big deal, though. She'll take a seat for a little bit. Sarah jabs, gets it back out to Kate. Kate spins middle, back to Sarah. Sarah drives middle. Now Grace back to Kate, or Sarah for three. Lots of Uniers out here on the floor. And that's going to be Purple Dragon ball after it bounces out of bounds. Jorge with the ball on the complete corner of the court. Gets it into Miller. Miller crosses over Unier. Spin move at half court, trying to just make some room. Now over to Gober. Gober gets it tipped by Grace, but English catches it. Jorge drives middle, jump stops, kicks it back out to Gober for a long three, and that's going to be good for Adelie Gober. That's her 6th points of the game. Her first three came from a three-pointer in the first half. And she is tied for the second highest leading scorer of the night. Jorge now with a rebound. That's 3 rebounds for her. Driving baseline, gets it tipped out. Grace Lubring jumps on it, sacrifices her body for the hardwoods. That's what any coach loves to see. It's going to be Purple Dragon ball after the jump ball on the baseline here. Miller throwing in the ball. Gets it to Jorge. Jorge now to Gober. Gober down to Reed. Reed airballs it. No rebound there, but gets tipped out of bounds. It's going to be Blue Comet basketball. Reed contested down low. Tried a little fadeaway jumper. Didn't quite get enough distance on that. Blue Comets are going to see how Grace Lubring does bring the ball up the court. Give a little space for Sarah Unier as she tries to look to shoot. Uniers now to Lubring in the middle. She gets, again, bombarded at the elbow. Brenna drives baseline, jump stops. Probably should have looked to score there. She had enough room. That's going to be thrown out of bounds by the Blue Comets. Number 5 coming in for the Purple Dragons, Briley Mantooth. She's a junior here for Pittsburg. Gober to bring up the ball for the Blue Comets. Lubring gets a foul called, which is tough because she had her offhand on the ball. Looked pretty clean. Gober sold the foul well. Good for her. Lubring with her first foul of the night. English spins with the left hand, and that's good for Mackenzie English. 12 points for her tonight. Kate with the ball. Lainey Holtzman checking in now. Waiting at the scores table as the Blue Comets move the ball around. Driving baseline, spinning back out to Lubring. Lubring drives baseline again, goes up with the right hand. And that's good. Grace Lubring now with 8 of her own. English taking it for herself. Gober now getting it to the high post. Down low, Reed saves it, but doesn't. And it's going to be Blue Comet basketball. Great look for the offense there for the Purple Dragons. That was Jorge at the high post looking down low for Reed, but just over her fingertips. Hands it off to the Blue Comets. Chanute swinging it around, looking for corner. Gets the ball tipped back to Sarah. Cross court, mid-range for Brenna, no good. Rebound by Reed. Reed's got 6 rebounds tonight. Half as many points. Ball stolen by Lainey Holtzman. Gets it to Kate Unier. Driving through contact. Sarah drives towards the middle after a jab step. Back to Kate. Baseline, spinning back out. Gets stopped. But ultimately is going to be fouled by Odessa Reed. I believe that's her first foul of the night. And it looks like Gober's going to take a seat as we have Miller coming in for her. Miller gets the steal. Backing down, Kate Unier misses the double team. Now English looking to pass it down low. Telegraphed that. Lubring almost had the steal there, but ultimately looks like Reed with another foul. Quick foul, fell on top of Lubring. So that's going to be her second for the night. 2 quick fouls here in the second half for Odessa Reed. Jorge guarding Unier, pushing her into a double team. Now trades off with Miller. Miller picks up the foul, a little blocking foul as Kate runs into her. Blue Comets take it back from the sideline. Lubring takes the screen. Hands back to Lubring. Now Holtzman up top to Kate Unier. Kate, very physical for a freshman. Gets called for a travel there. Fox looking for a blocking foul instead. Asking the official if she is allowed to make contact like that, if the defender is, of course. Jorge now with the ball for the Purple Dragons. Gets called for a carry as she got her hand just a little too far underneath it. Blue Comet basketball. Lubring to Kate. Kate looking in the corner for Holtzman. A little too high right into the band. Nobody over there athletic enough to catch it. I'm just messing with them. Braden Warax over there with the assist. Blue Comets will take the timeout here. I'll take a little bit of a timeout with them. Stay tuned. Here are some of your stats for tonight. Looks like the score needs to be updated here a bit. Give me just a second with that. 12-33. A couple of big scores tonight. Grace Lubring leading for the Blue Comets, and Mackenzie English for the Purple Dragons. Looks like Purple Dragons should be throwing the ball in. The officials waiting for someone to come receive the ball. Oh, there is. Interesting. Looks like there's a little bit of miscommunication there between the officials, but Miller now for the Purple Dragons, bringing it up court. English now swinging it back over to Miller. She drives baseline. And Sarah Unier is going to pick up that foul. That's going to be her first foul of the night. Sarah Unier going almost 3 whole quarters without fouling. And a lot of minutes. English catches the ball in the middle, goes up with the right hand, no good. No over the back call either, and that's going to be a rebound by Sarah Unier. She's got 2 points, 3 rebounds, and now 1 foul. Kate Unier not looking to shoot there from the elbow. She was wide open though, had plenty of room to. Instead, Grace Lubring is going to go to the line for 2 shots. That foul was on Odessa Reed. That's her 3rd. She's picked up all 3 of her fouls here in the 3rd quarter. Lubring's first shot off the back of the iron. Gober in for Reed. As Reed takes a seat, as she probably should. She's been a big asset here for the Purple Dragons. And you don't want her getting too many fouls before the first quarter, or 4th quarter rather. Purple Dragons to throw the ball in on the baseline. Jorge to throw it in. Miller now with the ball, gets it back to Jorge. Miller again, almost getting trapped right past half court. It's going to come off of Sarah Unier's foot, so it'll stay with the Purple Dragons. As Gober throws in the ball to Miller. Back to Gober, wide open. Decides not to take the 3. Back to Miller. She jabs. Gober again, looking for English down low. English, big body, cross the lane to Miller for 2. And Angie Miller now has 6 tonight. Kate Unier spins in the middle. Decides not to take it. Now Holtzman to Sarah. Sarah back to Kate. Kate curls around. Gets it to Grace. Lubring back to Unier. Unier to Holtzman. Blue Comets doing a great job just moving the ball around. 4 seconds left as Lubring loses it. Tries to bring it in, but is no good. We have a new person here on the court, not on our roster. So I'll have to try to figure that out. Purple Dragons bringing up court. Gober. Timeout called by the Purple Dragons. Blue Comets going to take advantage of that too. Fox already has his clipboard. Blue Comets out here not doing a terrible job here in the 3rd quarter. Definitely much better than the first half. They're doing a great job of moving the ball around, but unfortunately, they have this tendency of finding themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. And so what ends up happening is they start moving the ball around and pass it to a place where Pittsburgh knows they're going to be. And Pittsburgh does a great job of just collapsing on the offense there. Gober now with the ball for the Purple Dragons. Tries to get it to Mantooth, but Avery Hicks gets the ball. Throws it up court to Kate. Kate loses track of her person. Gets it to Brenna, back to Kate. Now to Sarah for a corner three. Just a bit wide left of the rim. Rebound by the Purple Dragons. Gober now kicks it over to the corner for a three. Off the back of the rim. Holtzman with the rebound. Holtzman dribbling around, hands it off to Unier. Back over to Peter. Peter driving left. Now Hicks. Hicks, one dribble pickup. Holtzman to Sarah Unier. Sarah trying to figure out what to do with it. She drives middle, jump stops. Corner for three from Brenna, and that's going to be Brenna's first points of the game. Brenna Peter with three, bringing it to 16-35. Up and under is English, and that's good for 14 now for her. Mackenzie English looking like the MVP of the game so far. 25 seconds left here in the third quarter. Long three attempt from Kate, no good. Holtzman tried to get the rebound, but Mantooth instead came up with it. Corner trapped, timeout by the Purple Dragons. Tristan Gregg with her timeout here. Looks like they're down to 4 timeouts left here in the half. The Blue Comets have nearly used up all of theirs here in the third quarter with only 1 timeout left. And it makes sense, unfortunately. They've needed all they can get to try to scramble their way back into this game. But when you're down by hold on, let me do the math. And when you're down by 21 points, that makes it tough. Let's look at a few replays here. This is that replay here at the end. Jorge almost got trapped there right past the half-court mark. Blue Comets did a great job of leading her that direction. I think once she got there, she knew that she made a mistake. Fortunately, for the Purple Dragons, Tristan Gregg had plenty of timeouts. In fact, I think that was only their second timeout they've used this half. So she's going into the fourth quarter with 3 timeouts left. Fox going into it with only 1. Purple Dragons throwing the ball in on the far sideline. Jorge can't find anybody. Almost got to the 5-second mark. And Purple Dragons dribble the ball away, gets it up to Lubring. Lubring tries to save it from going out of bounds. And the Purple Dragons are just going to look to let the clock run out. That's the end of the third quarter. We're going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break. We'll be right back here after a bit. $37-16 Blue Comets trying to scrape their way back. It's going to be a tough one for them tonight. Purple Dragons doing a great job of keeping them off the scoreboard. For the most part, the Blue Comets are struggling to score, doing a decent job on defense, but ultimately are just outsized in many ways, both down in the paint and along the perimeter. Purple Dragons doing a great job of moving the ball without throwing it away too much. Mackenzie English out here leading both teams with 14 points, 7 rebounds, and only a single foul for her. Having a great game. Blue Comets looking to do something. They may end up throwing up a lot of three-pointers. English with the steal. Saw that coming from a mile away. Miller now with the ball. Gets it across half court to Jorge. Elbow to English. Corner to Reed. Reed gets fouled going up by Jenica Ruark. And she's going to go to the line for 2. Odessa Reed has 3 points for tonight. 3 fouls. 6 rebounds, though. She is a rebounding fiend. First shot off the back of the rim. One thing that you'll notice with a lot of the Purple Dragons players, they all have very high arcing shots. That seems like a very cultural thing over there in Pittsburgh, but they do a great job. Statistically speaking, that is a shot that has a much higher chance of going in. No points for Odessa Reed there off those 2 free throws. Ruar cutting back door rather. Now Lubring driving middle, gets stripped, but unfortunately that's going to be a foul on Jorge. I believe that's her 2nd foul of the game. She just reaches in there, tries to swipe it, but got a lot of arm instead. Unier curling around, getting the ball in, looking to make some space, bring in the defense, trying to look for Kate. Avery now with the ball, back to Sarah for a long 3. In for the Blue Comets. Unier now with 5 of her own. She hadn't scored since her first 2 free throws in the in the second quarter rather, first half. Reed with a jumper is no good. Rebound by Kate Unier. And that's her first rebound of the night. Foul on the floor. Looks like that's going to be on Miller. Yes, Angie Miller with a foul. That's her 2nd foul of the night. Both teams still pretty low on fouls here in this 4th quarter, in this half rather. Blue Comets moving around. Some looking back door. Brenna goes up. Clean block by Hurtrich. Now Miller comes up with it. Kicks it to English. English looking back door, not there. English spins middle, pulls up. Rattles off the rim. Rebound by Avery Hicks. Blue Comets bring it down court pretty quick. They've got to score over and over again to even get close to where the Purple Dragons are. Rebounded by Brenna. Great rebound, and Brenna puts it back for 2 more. That was Brenna's first rebound of the night. She's got 5 of her own points, though. Reed kicks it across court. Miller can't quite bring it in. Unier with the steal. Gets it to Brenna. Brenna pulls up. Gets blocked by English. Clean block there. Looks like Odessa Reed is going to take a seat. And Adelie Gober is going to be in for the Purple Dragons. English steals the ball. Lubring tries to steal it back, but instead knocks it up to Hurtrich. Hurtrich takes it back to English. Lubring all over the floor. trying to get the ball back, and Blue Comets come up with it. No foul there, trying to jump through a couple people. Kate Unier was looking for the foul. Fox didn't contest the no call. And it looks like Peter with the steal. Jump stops, goes up, no good, but she'll get fouled going up, and that's going to be a foul on Ana Jorge. That's her third foul of the game. Brenda Peter, good gather, goes up. Jorge slaps her on both shoulders. And Brenna's going to go to the line for two. First shot. Off the mark. Jenica Ruark in for the Blue Comets. As with Lainey Holtzman, Kate Unier, and Avery Hicks going to take a seat for a little bit. 5 minutes left here in the game. Going to give them a little bit of a breather before putting them back in for the last couple of minutes. Brenna, her 6th point of the game. 30-second timeout for the Blue Comets. I need a drink, so we're going to take a timeout too. We'll be right back. Blue Comets not quite shown out like we anticipated, coming off a win earlier this week on Tuesday against the Lebec County Grizzlies, winning 50-34. If you remember last year, Lebec County Grizzlies were a very good team and then I believe had made it to the state tournament last year. Pittsburg High on the other end here, girls basketball coming off of a win against the Parsons Vikings, 66-46. So again, they have a bit of momentum going at the moment. Purple Dragons, rather, throwing the ball in. Jorge bring the ball up, curling around, throwing it up to Miller. Miller missed Hurtrich on the far side. Hands it off to Gober. Gober gets it stripped by Unier. And Hurtrich gets it back, though. English down low, up, and good for two. English has 16. Sarah now with the ball, crossover, spinning into the middle, jump stop, gets fouled along the way though. Angie Miller with another foul for tonight for her. And that's going to be her third foul of the night. Blue Comets to throw it in on the baseline. Grace Lubring going to take advantage of that. Laney with the ball. Holtzman trying to look for somebody, gets it to Sarah Unier. Sarah driving over to the left, back to Laney on the far side. Laney swings it to Jenica. Jenica drives middle, kicks it back out over to Unier in the corner three, and that's off the mark. And that's going to be Jorge with the rebound, but then Jenica Ruark is going to be in there with the jump ball. So that's going to stay Pittsburgh's ball since Jorge picked up the rebound. Hurtrich back to Miller. Hurtrich trying to get it somewhere. Peter, pump fake up and good for two. Brenna all over the place on defense today. She's got 8 points of her own. Jorge up and no good. Brenna, look at her all over the court. She brings it up herself. Gets it to Kate, hands it off to Grace. Drives the middle, takes the screen over to Sarah. Sarah looking for Brenna down low, but Brenna's nowhere to be found amongst the defense. Kicks it over to Jenica. Jenica pump fakes, kicks it over to the corner. Now drives middle. Grace, hop, skip, no good off the backboard. Picked up by Jorge, and a foul against Kate Unier. Jorge with her 5th rebound. Kate with her 3rd foul of the night. She's gonna have to take her stay in. Looks like Pittsburgh's gonna take another timeout as Jenica Ruark also takes a seat. And 30-second timeout here. We can talk for a bit. So as I was saying before, Blue Comets have been having a great season so far, 5-2 compared to their record last year, which was lacking a bit. Blue Comets coming off the start of the season with a 4-win streak, losing back-to-back games against Girard and Fort Scott, but then picking up another win against Labette earlier this week. Pittsburgh High, on the other hand, once again is, hold on, let me go back up to that, is 4-5. So technically they are on they are having a losing season at the moment. They played some pretty difficult teams themselves, starting off with Joplin, Shawnee Mission North, Webb City, beating Joplin and Shawnee Mission North, losing to Webb City and Wamego, and then winning against Cimarron, losing 3 games in a row. Looks like Sarah Unier, pardon me, Brenna Peter picked up the steal, and then Mackenzie English picked up the foul there. So English, still only her 2nd foul. Brenna off the front of the mark. Anyways, back to Pittsburgh's record. So Pittsburgh lost to Trinity Academy, Coffeyville, and Independence 3 games in a row, but then finally broke that losing streak against Parsons earlier this week. 2nd shot off the mark. Pittsburgh with a rebound. Bringing it back up. Stolen by Kate. Looking up to Sarah. Jump stop out to Laney. Laney pump fakes. Drives left. Brenna for 3. Off the front of the mark. Double teamed by the Unier sisters. Foul on Kate. And that's going to be her 4th of the night. Four fouls for Kate Unier. I think Fox is actually just going to keep her in for now, because as we've seen, Kate is quite the asset defensively. Dragons get the ball in. English in the middle now. Jabs. Almost gets a stripped. Hurtrich looking down low for Reed. Reed finally getting fouled by Lubring. Lubring, that's her 2nd foul. Oh, pardon me. Apparently that was on Brenna Peter. So Grace still has 1. Brenna has 2. English picked up another 2 points there. She's got 18. Just 2 shy of 20 here. Kate, long 3, no good. Gonna airball that, and that's gonna turn into a Pittsburgh basketball. Fox says push up. Pressure on defense. Miller with the ball. Kicks it to English in the middle, easy. Jorge now slowing down a bit, looking for someone. Laney all over her. Miller now. Kate gets it from Miller. Crosses over, goes up with her right. And 1 for Kate Unier. Her first points of the game, going to the line for a 3rd. Unier. She's got 4 fouls, 1 rebound, now 2 points, looking for her 3rd point. And that's off the back of the rim. Blue Comets not doing very well from the free throw line all night. That's going to be a foul on Sarah Unier, and only her second foul of the night. Blue Comets really not doing too bad with fouls aside from Kate Unier. So Hertrich is going to go to the line. She only has 2 points tonight so far. Looking for more. Short off the front of the iron. No good. Grace taking a seat. Avery Hicks coming in, the senior. I believe we only have 2 seniors on the team, maybe 3 this year. So the future of this Blue Comet squad looks really nice, especially with the freshman class that's on this varsity team. So Blue Comets still behind by quite a bit. Sarah, first shot is good. She's got 6. Avery's taking a seat. Grace is back in. Second shot is also good for Sarah. Ruark in for Brenna. Peter's going to take a seat for just a little bit. Give it a couple seconds. She'll get back in, I'm sure. Just under 2 minutes here in the game. English throws it off to Miller. Miller looking for someone. Blue Comets are all over the place. Chanute crowd is looking for a double dribble there from English, from Miller. And Kate Unier picks up her 5th and final foul. She's going to sit for the rest of the game as Brenna Peter comes in. And Kate gets a round of applause as she takes her seat. We saw her all over the place. I think she had more steals than any other stat line in the books right now. Jorge, her shot was off the mark. Second free throw shot. Also missed. Well, foul on the court against Lubring. Number 2, that was Reed. That is Odessa Reed's 4th personal foul. So she's got to be careful. There is still quite a bit of time left. And Grace Lubring is going to the line for 2. She's got 9. She's leading the Blue Comets in points right now. Her first shot, no good. Blue Comets still struggling from the free throw line, which makes a huge difference, especially in a game like this. Second shot is good. She's got 10. Double digits for Grace Lubring. And we got Lily Fisher in for the bump ball. So the ball's going to be thrown in. All right, so a little confusion there. Pittsburgh thought that there was a foul on the floor. Turns out the ball was just out of bounds. English taking it all the way up the court. She's got 20. 20 points, 8 rebounds for Mackenzie English. Sarah, long 3, no good. English with the rebound. Up and in for Adelie Gober. English needs one more rebound to hit a double-double here tonight. Sarah, another long three, looking for something. Brenna, no good to try to save that. Instead, it falls out of bounds. Blue Comets, 45.5 seconds left here in the game. English taking it herself, getting fouled by Sarah Unier. That'll be Sarah's third foul. English is going to the line for 2 foul shots. Second shot, off the mark. Rebounded by Reed and stolen by the Blue Comets. Peter swinging it around. Now Laney going up, gets blocked by English. English has a handful of blocks on the night. Timeout by the Purple Dragons. Blue Comets are out of timeouts. Full timeout here. We're going to go ahead and take a quick full timeout with them. We'll be right back here on Comet Vision. I'm Caleb Wood. 18.6 seconds left in the game. Blue Comets still trying to make an impact here. They've brought their deficit back to 16. It seems like it was much worse earlier. But they're going out fighting tonight, and you got to love to see that. Pittsburg to throw the ball in on the Blue Comet baseline. And you can expect the Blue Comets to be swiping as soon as the ball gets inbounded. Ball in to Reed. Reed throws it into Unier's hands, but gets the ball back. Reed now gets called for a travel. Looks like she might have rolled an ankle on that just a little bit. But nonetheless, travel's a travel. And that is restricted area. Sarah bringing it up court. Hand off to Laney. Laney, long three, and that's good for Laney Holtzman. And that's going to finish the game for tonight. Blue Comets fall short to the Pittsburg Purple Dragons, 32-45. Great way to end the game in a fighting fashion. Congratulations to the Purple Dragons for their win tonight. You can see all the stats, the individual stats here of the game. We have Mackenzie English, pardon me, let me fix her stat real quick, with 20 points, 9 rebounds, and only 2 fouls. And again, for the Blue Comets, leading their way is Grace Lubring with 10 points, 1 rebound. Have a great evening, folks.